Hi guys, and welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to show you how I painted this composition of succulents and cacti. In my garden, I have many succulents and cacti that always inspire me with their shapes and colors. The ones that I'm going to paint today are the Bunny Ear Cactus, the Zebra plant, and the Jelly Bean plant. They have such fun names. If you would like to see how I mix greens to make them more natural, add white highlights and texture, apply glaze with soft edges, and much more, then keep on watching. You can download the outline for this painting from the link in the description of this video, so we can paint along. For the colors, I will be using quinacridone red, ultramarine, Prussian blue, indigo, sap green, cobalt green, yellow ochre, burnt umber, and sepia. I already transferred the outline onto the watercolor paper using a light box. I'm going to start by creating a light mixture of sap green with water. Following the outline, I apply a flat wash of paint using round brush number 3. To add some extra dimension to the body of the plant, I pick out some of the pigment from the top where the light would hit, and I add splashes of more intense color at the bottom. For the cactus, I'm mixing cooler green with more blue tones. As a base, I use sap green and I add Prussian blue. I vary the proportions of the pigments, testing the mixtures on paper until I'm happy with the result. I want the green to be much cooler to contrast the succulent on the right, so I'm adding more Prussian blue. I'm also adding a tiny bit of warm red. Since it is a complementary color of green, it dulls it and creates a more natural green. The mixture can get brown very quickly when adding a complementary color, so it is better to start small and add more if necessary. I always try to mix more paint than I think I need, because it is hard to mix the same color if I run out. I'm applying a wash of a diluted green mixture to parts of the cactus that are not touching, so the paint doesn't blend and the parts of the plant look separated. I drop in Prussian blue in some places to suggest shadow. For the plant in the middle, I'm mixing cobalt green with sap green. Cobalt green is a wonderfully granulating color that will add texture to the plant. I love using granulating colors on their own, but especially mixed with other colors. The colors separate on paper and create a beautiful multicolor effect. With a smaller brush, in my case round number 1, I'm applying a wash of cobalt green mix on each succulent leaf, alternating the leaves and leaving adjacent ones unpainted. After painting a couple of them, and when the paper is still wet, I'm dropping in concentrated indigo to the top and the bottom of the leaf to add more dimension to it. When the first set of leaves is dry, I apply the paint to the rest using the same technique. Whenever surrounding parts of the composition are dry, I paint other parts of the cactus using the same technique as previously. First, I'm applying blue-green wash and then dropping in some Prussian blue to suggest shadow. Off camera, I finished the first layer on the cactus and zebra plant. To create vibrant red tips on the jelly bean plant, I use very concentrated quinacridone red. As I mentioned before, green and red are complementary colors, so red won't be as vibrant as on its own when glazed over a sap-green base, but it will look more natural. I'm applying red with a small round brush number 0 to the tips of a couple of leaves, the ones that are not touching each other. When the red area is still wet, I clean the brush and apply a small amount of clean water to the base of the leaf, dragging it up so it touches the red. This way I can achieve a glaze with a soft edge. I drag some red paint that is already on the paper to the sides of the leaf to round it a bit more. I make sure I always clean my brush before softening the red, so I don't accidentally dull the green underneath. I want to keep it as vibrant as possible. If the red dries too much and doesn't want to blend, I agitate it gently with the brush to wake up the pigment. I proceed in the same way around the plant until all the leaves are done. To add more depth to the plant, I paint diluted indigo in shadow areas where the leaves meet. I deepen the shadows with more concentrated indigo. After finishing all the leaves of the jelly bean plant, I return to the Bunny Ear Cactus. Using the same blue-green mixture as for the first layer, I glaze another layer on the left side of the plant to create a shadow and make the plant look more three-dimensional. I make the shape irregular to suggest the uneven texture of the cactus. Now it's time to paint the pots. I paint all the pots in the same way, starting with the middle one. First, I apply yellow ochre to the sides of the pot. Then, with clean water, I paint the middle of the pot, dragging in some of the yellow from the sides. To create more texture and shadow, I apply burnt umber wet on wet, especially to the sides and the bottom. To deepen the shadows even more, I add sepia. To add highlights and texture to the plants, I use a white POSCA acrylic marker. You can find the specific one I'm using in the description box below. I really like this marker because I can be very precise with it, drawing small dots and lines. It is also very opaque. I prefer to use it over white gouache when I want to achieve a more graphic and bolder look. Remember to shake it well before using it, otherwise the white won't be opaque, since the pigment separates inside the marker. I create white highlights with the marker on the jelly bean plant to make it look shiny. I add them to most but not all of the leaves to avoid overdoing it. For the zebra plant, I add sets of small strokes. I draw them close together, varying the length and trying to create a wavy pattern. On the cactus, I draw small dots in wavy lines. After painting all the pots, as a finishing touch, I add some shadow under them with a mixture of ultramarine and burnt umber. First, I apply a very diluted grey mix and soften some of the edges with a clean, wet brush. Then I drop in some more concentrated grey under the pots to deepen the shadows. Ultramarine is also a very granulating color, so when mixed with burnt umber, they separate on paper, creating a more interesting multicolor effect than just a flat grey mixture. And that's pretty much it for this painting. If you guys enjoyed this tutorial and would like to see more, please consider subscribing and turn on the notifications. As usual, the list of tools and the link to the black and white outline will be in my description box. Thank you for watching and painting with me. I will see you soon. Bye!